Yet another AI tool that promises to convert your text into beautiful designs. In this video, I'm going to be checking out Flowstep AI. Now, this is a tool that promises something similar to convert your text into a beautiful design, and I want to show you how this product really works. Now, this is a landing page, and they have an option to log in or sign up. Since I have already created my account on Flowstep, I'm simply going to click on login, and let's get inside the dashboard. Here we are on their dashboard. If you notice, this is a very canvas style of working. It is similar to how you see FigJam or Figma, where you have an open canvas and you start your work on it. On this screen, you can see that you can start the prompting right away, or you can see some of the examples that they have given below. So let's see what they have got to say here. Not sure where to begin. Here is some inspiration. Save to spend dashboard screen for budgeting app. Checkout page wireframe for a food delivery app. Settings page screen for a dating app. Now this is more like an inspiration for you to choose from if you don't have any ideas right now. I want to do a custom prompt. I want to build a payment transfer mobile app experience, and let's see what it gives me. I'm going to specifically use the word wireframe because that's what they also seem to be using a lot more in the inspirations as well. So it is possible that they are catered towards more in the wireframe direction, but let's see how this goes. So I'm about to click this prompt tool, which is this button right here at the bottom, and when I click on it, I get to write my prompt here. So let's write imagine a wireframe for a payment transfer mobile app UX and see what it gives us. Now I understand my prompt is not very sophisticated. I'm simply using 2 to 3 keywords, which is basically saying payment transfer mobile app. I want to see what this tool can really deliver with the minimum amount of prompting. And this is something that I've been doing with AI tools quite a lot. I don't try to engineer my prompts in such a way that it gives me best output in the first go. I do it more like a dumb way, which is I try to enter whatever comes to my mind and see what the output is like, because I always have an option to fine tune it later, and I can also see the capabilities of the product right away. So I'll click on generate here. I like how they're filling in the gap by saying good design takes time. Spinning up something fresh. This is a nice UX touch. And all right, we have it here. This is done. Pretty interesting design actually. As you can notice here, this is a very typical payment transfer app. So you have a balance here, which is correct. And you have the two main actions, which is send and request. And they have added the send to section, some of the quick actions. If you want to send it to Mike or Sarah, you can just do it quickly from here. And you have your recent transactions, add payment method, and rest of the navigation button. For the first output, this is really good. And I say this because these are some of the mockups or wireframes you have to do with your product designers if you're designing a completely new payment transfer app. I have worked in fintech for more than 5 years, and I can totally say that this is exactly how wireframes go in any fintech companies. You start with something basic like this and then you build up on it. Now let's try the next feature. I click on expand here and I want to see what they will deliver if I click on next screen. All right, we have it here. It took some time. It's not too much. They keep you engaged, so that is totally fine. That's the next screen. So this is basically an extension to the first wireframe that we got, the first screen. And here they've added a bit more features. So you can search for transactions or contacts. You can filter by categories. You have quick filters. You have recent contacts, suggested searches, etc. And I believe I can keep on adding next screens if I click on expand. But they also have another feature. So let's try that one. If I click on more content, let's see what it does. Awesome, we have the third screen here and they have added more content. So let's see what they have added more. As you can see in the top section, there is not much change. It goes until the end of it, and then the end they add more content, which is featured reports and stuff like that. At this point, it may not give you the most efficient results because it's trying to give you everything in the first output. And when you click on more content, it is probably going to add something that you might not need in the first place. I also want to see what will it do if I select less content. So what kind of elements will it take it away, and you might get more focused design. And I got the output here. Let me move the screens around a little bit just to give you a comparison. On this screen, I said less content and it basically delivered a screen which has nothing but a search icon. It is not the best output. I think it should have retained some of the information. This is almost like no information, so this doesn't really make sense. If I were to nitpick here, I would probably look at some of these issues like overflow and stuff like that, but it's all fine. I think it's not a big deal. Now here's a real world scenario that happens. Typically when you show a wireframe like this, you are going to get some feedback, and one of the feedback could be, hey, can we just remove this send to section and just eliminate it because we don't need it on the home screen. In that case, you would want to delete it. So I can select this particular one and click on delete. and select this as well and click on delete. It does not auto adjust for the space that is left now. It should have ideally just moved it up, but I think this is probably their version 1 of the product, so maybe it is not possible, but I'm just going to bring it back. When I saw Flowstep for the first time, the first thought that came to my mind was, why can't I do this in Lovable or Vercel? So I wanted to try that out, and here's what I did. I entered a prompt here, exact same prompt, and I said, imagine a wireframe for payment transfer mobile app. And as soon as I entered this, it gave me a wireframe. I don't know if I should call this a wireframe. If you're a product designer, you're watching this, please let me know what would you call this type of design. But in my head, this doesn't seem like a wireframe because it has got some UI design choices. It is functional, it works, it is exactly how I would have expected. It has got some more actions than what I got in Flowstep, but overall, it pretty much gives me the same output. I'm back to Flowstep. Here's a difference that I noticed. If you look at my original prompt here, if I click on edit, it says imagine a wireframe for payment transfer mobile app UX. I use the same exact words in Vercel as well, and I use the words wireframe. It does not mean that Flowstep does not support the UI design as well. I'm going to try another prompt that says imagine a UI for payment transfer mobile app UX, and I'll click on generate, and here I've got the result. As you can see, it has added a bit more finesse to it, I would say, because when I look at wireframes and when I look at high fidelity designs, there's an obvious difference. You have chosen the typography, you have chosen the right icons, you have chosen the right colors. So your design starts to reflect what it would be like in a live application. So I brought the wireframe and the UI design side by side, and let's do some comparison. What I noticed here is the approach is slightly different. In the wireframe, you have your balance section, and then there is action button to send money and request. UI design screens, I get to see transfer amount. So it has directly given me the transfer screen where I'm supposed to select an amount and make a transfer and send it to this person. I'm surprised to see that it did not give me the same output when I asked for a wireframe. So there is some slight difference in the approach here. I'm not sure exactly what caused it. In my head, I would have expected the elements to be the same, only the design to change. But seems like the approaches are different. If you're trying Flowstep, I would recommend you to try different prompts for the same problem statement. If I click on expand, let's see what happens. I'm going to click on next screen, and here we have the screen. It is a very logical extension to the previous screen that I see here. Obviously, when you have selected the amount and made a transfer, you would want to review your transfer. So that's very neat and very nice. I'm guessing if you click on next screen, it will be a success screen and so on and so forth. Now, here are a few thoughts on Flowstep. Number one, the product's design is actually quite focused. So when you want to start from scratch, you start with the prompt action at the bottom. But once you have the screen, you can edit the prompt right away. So you have a screen-based approach. If you look at Vercel, Vercel has a chat-like interface. If I want to change anything for a specific screen, I would have to put a follow-up prompt here. That is completely different approach for this, where you have an open canvas, and for individual screens, you can go ahead and prompt it separately, or you can expand on it separately. So that's really nice, and I think that's a very nice UX touch because user experience needs to be reimagined for products like these. I also like the fact that you can edit the elements out if you do not want them. However, I would have expected some sort of auto adjustment if I take out an element, because otherwise I have to now edit everything else. One of the concerns with Flowstep kind of product is they are operating in a crowded market. We already have products like Figma where designers are already comfortable with it. There are new products like Lovable, Vercel and Replit doing the exact same thing. And then you have Flowstep, which is sort of in between the two or a combination of two. I'm not able to figure out yet. If you're a product designer or a product manager, let me know what kind of use case would you use this for? Or you would simply go to Lovable or Vercel. At the moment, I'm using Lovable, Vercel kind of products excessively, so I have not really tried such products in my workflow. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching.